So, something about me is I get a lot of secondhand nostalgia off of like early 2000s stuff. And I'm going to try and explain in a way that doesn't sound stupid. So, I grew up in the early 2000s. I was a 1999 baby. So, I spent like my young childhood years like growing up in the early 2000s. And my siblings, they are way older than me. Like, my sister is 1990 and my brother is 1992, and even my boyfriend is older than me. He was also born in 1992. So like they kind of grew up as like 90s kids, and then they were like teenagers in the early 2000s. But like I was growing up as just like a small kid in the early 2000s. And the reason I like say like secondhand nostalgia is because like when I was growing up as a young kid, I would watch like stuff that my siblings were into, like the cartoons they were into, the music they were into, like whatever was popular and that they were into in the early 2000s. And I know that like when me and my boyfriend sit down and talk about it, or when we watch old stuff, cuz you can watch like old early 2000s cartoons and stuff like on YouTube. You can even watch like early 2000s like Adult Swim on YouTube and like all that stuff. And there's times when me and my boyfriend will like even like just earlier today, we'll sit down and we'll watch that stuff together on YouTube, because like he gets nostalgia from it and I get like secondhand nostalgia, because it's like it's not like I was a teenager in the early 2000s like he was, or like my siblings were. It's more like I watched what my siblings were into, and I know he was into similar stuff because like they're around the same age. And it's like, so like I was living my little childhood life watching what they were into and like learning about that stuff. And it's like I get nostalgia from my teenage years. My teenage years were in the 2010s. And this is probably sounding really confusing. I'm probably like all over the place. I promise I think I have a point here. But I get obviously my teenage nostalgia from the 2010s, which is when they were like in their 20s. So like when it comes to early 2000 stuff, it's like I get nostalgia from it, but I remember being like a little kid seeing that stuff. Whereas like little kid versus like teenager kid is like different, but it's like I still got the nostalgia, just like not on the same level as them. So like that's why I kind of call it like secondhand nostalgia. And it's like, I remember early 2000 stuff, like very, very well. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have pretty good long-term memory. Like, I remember a lot of the stuff pretty well. It's just the point of views were different. Like, what our eyes saw was different, because I saw it from like a little kid perspective, like even old Adult Swim, little kid perspective, and then but they had their teenage perspective. And so it's like when me and my boyfriend, especially when we talk about stuff together from the early 2000s, like we just have such a different point of view on it, even though we both remember it, which is like, it's weird, but it's cool. And it really like, it shows our age, but it also like shows that like we know like all the same stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it's really cool. And I just thought I'd make a video kind of like talking about it, because I'm not sure if anybody else like understands. Like, does anyone else get secondhand nostalgia off of stuff that like other people would get like firsthand nostalgia off of? Or am I just being confusing and not making any sense at all? Please let me know. I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it for a second.